Okay, hello all. I welcome you all to this mini podcast series. My name is Trusha. I am a senior May Padam and Karlakatai coach and also founder of Heartful Warrior, a platform where we practice and teach traditional Indian martial arts. And for this series today, we are going to talk about martial arts, self-defense, spirituality, and a lot of other things, a lot of useful things, especially for women and actually men too. So today I have with me, and also on this podcast series, I'll be having with me my friend and fellow martial artist Tasneem Nakoda. She's a psychotherapist and she specializes into behavioral therapy. She has been doing this for more than 20 years. She's a black belt in karate. She's also a Reiki healer. She's the founder of her therapy center Tattva in Bangalore. And she's someone whom I have known as being very enthusiastic and positive about learning new things and new experiences in life. So, Tasneem, I welcome you and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Trusha. Thank you for such a lovely, warm introduction. And I'm really happy to be here today.
Okay, so we are talking about something very sensitive, something that's very close to our hearts. Let's today start with exploring our own journeys, how we started learning martial arts, what is self-defense, because we both have also learned some aspects of self-defense. So I would like to ask you, how was it for you getting into martial arts?
Martial arts for me overall has been an extremely enriching journey. But let me give you a little brief of how I got into it in the first place. And a special thanks to my parents, of course, for getting me into karate. You know, at that point in time, karate, when we moved to Bangalore in 84, not too many martial arts, first of all, were known of. And I think karate was something which somewhere anyone you speak to about karate, they've heard about karate, right? And very close by to where I was staying was a school of karate, and my parents found it very apt to send me there. I was all of 8 years old. I had no idea what I was getting into, but I just knew that there was a lot of focus on punches and kicks and getting certain techniques and katas, the certain sequences that we use in karate. We were it was all about getting that right and understanding what our teacher, our sensei, would instruct us from time to time. And this school it shifted after about 2 years to a different area, and it was not possible for me to go there at that point in time. So there was a very large gap in my training. I didn't do anything else during all those years. And then when the same school shifted back to where I was staying, to very close to where I was staying, and I got to know of it. I That was almost when I was in my second year degree in college, and I quickly registered for it and I started my journey. It was like starting from scratch all over. So I restarted my journey, and then of course I absorbed the whole process of the martial art very differently when I rejoined. And then there was no looking back. I loved every minute of it. Yeah.
So, Tasneem, like there are many people who get into martial arts, they enjoy learning, but a journey towards getting black belt is different. It's a very like it's a choice. It's a decision that you made. And I'm sure that was a journey for many years. So, what made you decide that I'm going to go till the last level, or at least till the level of achieving black belt?
Actually, it was not a conscious decision, Trusha. because I never joined with that intention that I'm going to achieve my black. I I enjoyed the process so much. It gripped me so much. And I'll tell you that sometimes there is different things different to appeal to different people, right? Like some people take to dance very passionately. Some people take to a different kind of art. It could be painting or exploring colors on silk or canvas, right? Some people would like to take up a sport very passionately, and for me, it was. Um, I think somewhere I just had to get back into martial arts, and when I restarted, I felt such a strong connection with everything that the art supported and the art was about, that it was something that I needed for myself at that point in time. And so it very organically just went from one level to the next. And I took to it so seriously. I didn't want to lose or stop the journey anywhere in between. And in fact, for me, I think, okay, getting the black is just the first step to maybe getting somewhere. It's not the end at all. It's the first step into something which is much, much larger and deeper. So, yeah, for me, it's achieving level one. But it
So what
happened
was
just
it?
very organically. Yeah.
What was it about? How did it support you at that time?
So, as a teenager, we go through, I think, a lot of emotional turmoil. We are anyway confused about so many things as we grow up. Sometimes with the family, sometimes with our friends, sometimes with what society expects of us, and as compared to what we really want for ourselves. And karate at that point in time gave me a lot of grounding from within. It gave me a lot of stability in my emotions, in my regulation of emotions. Um, it helped me disconnect from certain things when I had to. And I think that was a very large part of my spiritual journey, the beginning of my spiritual journey as well. I really feel that there has to be a very organic disconnect in many things in your life if you have to reach a different journey of spirituality. And maybe that was one step into that as well. So it gave me and it gave me all of that, and that's what I needed in my life at that point in time. Yeah, you can say that.
It's very interesting that you talked about stepping into spirituality when you were learning martial arts. We'll come back to that. Definitely. I mean, it's something that there's so much to talk about it that I guess we'll need like a completely different episode. But we'll come back to that. Um, the difference between martial arts and self-defense.
um, I feel martial arts is a very holistic form of learning. It's a lot to do with having something as a part of one's routine, a different sense of discipline altogether. Um, and see the techniques in what you learn in a martial art will come later, but it's all about the discipline that it allows first. And there's a lot of philosophy behind a martial art, which is, I think, not so present in self defense. While both could be eventually used in real life situations, the philosophy bit and the discipline that it allows a person to go through is not quite there in self defense. Self defense is more about, I think, reacting to situations. It's very situational based, and you react in the moment. You react with a different kind of presence of mind, using things which are accessible around you. Not everybody can be trained in martial arts, but they can still do a lot as a part of self defense in protecting themselves in a situation. I think that would be the primary difference. Like, even just to give you a simple example, when we were doing certain programs for different groups and corporates, we would always mention that use anything that you find around you. It could be a stone, it could be a pen that you have, maybe, it could be even keys, right? Anything that you could use in your opponent's sensitive parts of the body to be able to just run away and save yourself first. So that's the whole concept of self defense. Uh, yeah, but it doesn't allow for any philosophy or discipline as a martial art would. Yeah, what do you
Yeah,
feel?
and one thing that I learned and observed is that the learning and understanding of self-defense and the capability to be able to implement any of the things that we learn in self-defense becomes better with like a regular practice of martial art. Because I have seen in self-defense, let's say workshops or short duration maybe courses, is that they teach about the techniques, but if you do not have the endurance, if you do not have the strength, if you do not have that physical fitness, at least to some level, uh, it is going to become difficult to implement those. Then the real life situation will seem completely different than what you learned in the workshop or in the training,
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
very true. And you didn't, I'm also curious to know about your journey into some very exciting things that you are doing in your life as a martial artist. Maybe you can tell us something about it as well.
So, my journey started quite late. I didn't even I never thought I would learn martial arts. I never, when I was young, I never thought that I needed to or I wanted to learn martial arts. I knew one thing, that I wanted to feel safe because I growing up, as far as I can remember, the feeling of safety in every aspect of life was lacking usually for me. Um, and so I knew that knowing to defend yourself is very critical, is very important. But uh, learning martial arts, how that would go, I had no clue at all. And uh, it was something like uh, being into fitness or sports or this kind of activity was not encouraged in the environment that I grew up in. So when I started learning, I had already worked in corporate for 3 years, um, and I knew one thing. I started understanding that one thing was for sure, that I didn't want to do a corporate job. I knew that my calling was something else. I just didn't know what it was. And so when I started exploring what I wanted to do, and that came out of a lot of suffering with physical health problems and mental health problems, and um, then that understanding came that I needed to learn a lot about myself. And then, I stumbled on martial arts classes, and I started with traditional Indian martial arts. And after that, there was kind of no looking back, because I felt that it was kind of a huge breakthrough for me in terms of physical health, in terms of mental health, in terms of understanding myself. Just like you said, it was like a first step into spirituality. Same for me. It was like I could see that I was taking steps into spirituality, into understanding more about myself and life in general. So that was my journey into starting martial arts, and I've been now doing this for last 10 years. And yeah.
No, I mean, I was just listening to what you said, and I feel that there is, you mentioned feeling safe, which is one of the very, very basic things uh, that any child should feel or any person should feel as they are growing up. And if you have been able to break that barrier and have come to where you have come to today, it's a fabulous journey that you've had for yourself, and I just want to appreciate you for that. It's not easy to
Thank
do that
you.
on one's own, and
Yeah.
if you have, it's incredible.
Thank you, Tasneem. Thanks. And I think we have so much to talk about, but let's just take one more point for this podcast, and then we will continue with our series. So, uh, I have. I've kind of I've kind of experienced and observed in last 10 years that even though we keep hearing about some really heinous crimes against women and um, such things, such incidents, um, there still needs to be more enthusiasm in especially among women and also in all our systems, structures, and society about at least learning self-defense, if not martial arts as a discipline. Um, I would like to ask you, uh, why do you think that self-defense, especially in these times when women are traveling alone, when they are living alone, when they are relocating to other places for jobs and education, uh, how does it become critical, this kind of training?
Trusha, self-defense is extremely crucial. I mean, we can't stop reiterating or emphasizing on the fact that women should be aware of some basic self-defense techniques. One is like you're saying, yes, women. There has been a very very big shift in the kind of roles that women play today, and at least a large part, of the society has made that shift, and women like to take up more challenging roles for themselves too. They like to push themselves beyond a certain point as something to prove just for their own selves, right? And yes, they will be encountered with all kinds of people and situations. And sometimes it's always important to be well prepared for things that come your way. And I also feel from what I have noticed that women, I mean, actually, this applies for everybody, but I think more so for women because of the kind of conditioning that we come through sometimes from our childhood days, is that we tend to succumb to fear and to panic under a situation of fear, or to go completely silent or withdraw under any kind of fearful situation or an anticipation of something going wrong or fearful. Women tend to bend backwards, or they tend to succumb to a large extent, and that only gives the other person, whoever it may be, an opportunity to show their strength or to dominate even more. I think, firstly, that the the fact that the initial reaction of just breaking the silence, even in things that and situations that happen within the house. I'm saying this because we have so many clients coming to us where there are not very pleasant experiences that go on between couples, and sometimes there is a lot of physical abuse that happens in the process. And I think women tend to keep very silent about these things. But if you react, or if you strike back to a certain extent, and the other person knows that you are capable of hitting back or speaking back, um, like 50% of your problem is solved right then and there. They will be wary before they take the next step because they know that you are not going to keep silent and that you will strike back. Similarly, even in a situation outside, where if something happens on the street, um, fighting back to a certain extent will throw the other person a bit off guard, and it will stun the other person to a large extent. So keep something handy. If you know that you're walking down a street and it's quite lonely, or even if there is a crowd, you never know what happens all of a sudden. I always feel keep something handy so that you can just use it to your advantage if at all there is a situation which presents itself.
Tasneem, personally, also, when I started learning martial arts, when I started learning self-defense also, what it did for me was it really improved my self-esteem. It really helped me to um, um, have a better self-respect, self-esteem, and what that did was to get more in touch with my intuition. So, understanding about like I being able to identify better uh, about people or situations that could turn out to be, not so good, like unsavory, or even at a point of being threatening. Um, so that was really like a game changer for me. Was it the same for you?
To a large extent, yes, it was. Sometimes we tend to ignore our intuitions and our gut feel, but it's most of the time always right. And I mean, men, women, everyone, I think we should really pay more attention to what our intuition and our gut feel tells us. Most often it will not fail us, so if we need to take that extra precaution, we just should, and listen to ourselves better. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Um, so we have, okay, so let's connect back again, and we will continue our conversation because this is so interesting and we have just so much to talk about. I mean, if you just take like one word out of it, let's say self-esteem or intuition, or considering just that one word, we can talk for at least half an hour. So let's come back together again. And I think, as far as this episode is concerned, we'll stop here. And to all the viewers, I want to say, please share with us your thoughts. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions about what you would like us to explore and discuss, do let us know. And yeah, we'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much, Tasneem, for joining me. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Trusha, for having me on the show. Like you said, we've only scratched the surface just a wee bit, and there is so much more that is to be uncovered. And yes, viewers, if there are any suggestions, please bring them along, and we will ensure that we address them. And Trusha, I want to congratulate you for starting this uh, very, very meaningful and I'm pretty sure impactful mini podcast series. And thank you for having me here once again.
Thanks, thanks, thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.